Alrighty, so let's take a look at the hexflower swords, the hexflower gear. I guess it's called Delusion. I have not taken a look at any of these, so I guess I'll show you my thought process, and I can explain out loud like what I'm thinking when I'm looking at the gear. Usually these are 75 per gear, and it's 40 plus 35 right here, 20 and 15. Okay, so it falls in line with all the other stuff. Now I will take a look at all of the weapon abilities after I review the weapons. It's just easier to do them all at once. Plus, this doesn't give you a full list of like how much does this cost. If it's free, it could be, if it costs zero cost, it could be totally different in my opinion, and if it has like a 5-second cooldown, whereas if it had like a 60-second cooldown and it costs 30, then it could be totally different. So just better to look at it all at once. All right, so let's look at here. I guess I'll start with the sword. They're usually all the same. So first thing I look at is the proc chance and what it takes. So it stacks to 3 dark element. XL is the standard. We're neither better nor worse than the standard. Most gear is going to be XL. The next thing I look at is ability power. Okay, 7XL plus is the maximum. I've never seen 8XL. It may exist, but I don't remember it. I just remember 7XL is the maximum, which is good. So we're already at the maximum. Vital strikes is the next thing. I like to start at the bottom and go up because usually they put the interesting stuff at the bottom. Vital strikes is really powerful. There are not a lot of monsters that give vital strikes, so any abilities that can increase your damage like that by 50% is really good. So yeah, to put that in perspective, if you hit 10 times and you proc this once, it's almost like you hit 11 times, close to 11 times. But yeah, if you even hit 2 of these vital strikes, then you've basically added an additional hit. These are really, really good on procs. Increases physical and magical damage success value by 25. So M is 20, plus means 5. This is 25%. Quite good. The maximum before, I think, was M. I don't remember any M pluses. There could be, but it was pretty standard to have. If you had this type of success value up, it was pretty standard to have it as M before. So that's a good, nice little bonus. For any abilities that require this, you'll see it here. So this one right here deals damage 5 times, attack and defense. Success value 50. So that means it's a 50% chance to miss, 50% chance to hit. This boosts it to 75%. So if you double proc, you get 100%. If you triple proc, it doesn't go over that. Pretty good. That essentially makes it good for every class. It means it's usable for every single class because there are quite a few classes that require these types of procs. Now, Pulverize pierces through invulnerability and damage nullification. So this type of proc is a PvP proc. This is totally unnecessary in PvE. I mean, you can use this in PvE. It still gives pretty good element, plus 5. It does not give cost, doesn't give uni, doesn't give a base percent damage increase. Yeah. So we are missing some things, and it doesn't guarantee crits or anything like that. So we are missing some things. However, Pulverize is very, very good. If you don't have Pulverize or a type of piercing move, it is worth investing in for PvP if you're interested in PvP. So let's talk about where's Pulverize good? There are 4 types of defensive abilities. You have damage reduction, damage reflection, invulnerability, and nullification. Those are the 4 different types of procs that you can have for your defense gear. So for example, this one is damage reduction. So let's think about it. If you're trying to hit somebody, and yes, I'm aware that there's a percent. I'm not talking about the percent. We're talking about specifically trying to kill people that are not super like PvP heavy, and I'll talk about that. So when it comes to trying to kill somebody, if I attack them with a move, I want to ignore all procs except for percentages. No one can avoid percentages. The percent damage downs, you can't avoid those. Those just happen, okay? This is really, really good to use in conjunction with damage reduction and damage reflection, okay? So if I use an ability that pierces through damage reduction and damage reflection, then my attack will pierce every type of defense. If I proc this, I'll pierce damage reduction, damage reflection. This adds invulnerability and nullification, which are the main four. So to use an ability as an example, Riot Break penetrates, damage reduction, and damage reflection right there. So not every class is really suited to use Pulverize. For example, if you are a soldier and you're using something like Glistening Edge, that penetrates, nullification, and vulnerability. If I use Pulverize, this also penetrates invulnerability and nullification. So when you're looking at your abilities and whether or not your class will benefit from this, you need to look for damage reduction and damage reflection if you're going to use Pulverize, okay? Because you want to ignore all four. So hopefully that makes that clear. If it's not clear, look at my PvP guide. I'm not going to link it. It's just part of. It's in. I have like a playlist, but I explained everything there too. So it's a PvP proc in my opinion. Now, I always start with PvE. And free-to-play players and new players. So if you're a new player and you're wanting to get into PvP and you're wanting to kill people, penetration procs are the way. You need penetration procs. You will need them in the future. They seem to be where all of the damage is going to come from. So this type of proc is really, really good. Before you spawn this, be aware you usually need around 700 gems. And you also, this is very important, need to check your abilities. If you have any questions, I have my own Discord, as well as you can join the community Discord. Ask questions, but look at your most updated abilities, whatever they are. So if I'm like, let's say I'm playing an archer, right? I would start on the far right and I would take a look at them and see, do I see penetration of damage reduction and damage reflection? And I would just go through all of the abilities. I'm not seeing penetration of damage reduction, damage reflection. Now I know that it exists. Like, I know that some of these are like dual. There's a dual shot one. Where is that? Sniping shot, damage reduction, damage reflection. So like I personally know, but look through your abilities. And if it's not on the far right, then it's probably not the good proc for you. There's another proc that exists that's good for you, and you'll just have to wait for that to come out. There are two different types. This one is penetrates, damage reduction, and damage reflection. So if the ability that you're trying to use says penetrates invulnerability and nullification, you need to wait for a ravaging proc. Something that applies penetration to damage reflection and damage reduction. So just be aware they exist, but not now. Now when it comes to PvP, obviously these are 10 out of 10 procs. When it comes to PvE, they're pretty good. You can definitely use them. I would not use more than 3. I would say they are a solid 9 out of 10. Up to a maximum of 3. You really need other procs though, because you're going to be running out of cost, you're going to be running out of uni, you're not critting, and there's no percent damage up. So you're missing some things, but it's okay. You know, this is a good proc. This is a solid proc. Guild battles, these are, I don't know why I'm skipping around so much. Guild battles, these are really good for guild battles. Specifically when you're trying to kill people, but the flexibility of these are top tier. These are a 10 out of 10. You can kill people and you can kill the crystal with this proc. I like it. Again, you have to check the Pulverize if it's good for your class. But it's a solid 10 out of 10 if it fits. Look at the defense gear. I have not looked at this defense gear. I assume it's all the same. Nullification, physical and magical, increases status ailment resistance by 4x out. Now, this is not a permanent thing. This just applies when it procs. So keep that in mind. Procs on an L+, bro, that's so bad. Yeah, I would not use this. Nullification and magic is pretty good for things like PvE, because there's not a lot of monsters that buff up and can penetrate it. The issue is the L+. If it's better to proc something that reduces ability power boost, or like reduces the enemy's ability power, than to proc nothing. So this is just bad. PvE wise, I would say that this is that these are really bad. I mean, they look nice though. I'd say a solid 5 out of 10 for PvE. PvP totally depends. If you're really trying to build a PvP build, the only way to defend yourself is through percent damage reduction, which this is not. So I would say this is probably like a solid 4 out of 10. Ability power is super useful to reduce, and this does not reduce ability power. Also, status ailment is not so necessary to reduce, and the proc chance is just too bad on this. Now, when it comes to guild battles, it's no better. I would say it's probably a 4 out of 10. Actually, I'll upgrade it to a 5 out of 10. In guild battles, there are quite a few instances where somebody may try to hit you with status ailments, so that could be useful, but that's the only reason. The likelihood of you proccing it is so low that you probably never see that situation anyway, but yeah. All right, let's take a look at the weapon stuff. Go here, let's check it out. Oh, Flicker Strike. I think these are good. These are like excellent for PvP. So 10 second cooldown, 10 cost. Are they all the same? I think they're going to be all the same. Well, I'll go over all of them, okay? I don't think that they're going to be much different, but just in case. So 150 prevents Unison fill. So that's really good if you're just trying to hit somebody. You don't have to worry about filling their uni and them potentially fighting back. But the main thing is Chipped Blade. This nullifies penetration of damage reduction and damage reflection, which means that if you are trying to pulverize or use any ability that penetrates anything, if it's damage reduction or damage reflection, it's not going to work. And the majority of excellent defensive items are damage reduction and damage reflection. Stuff like this, damage reduction, damage reflection by XXL. So Chipped Blade is going to increase your defense a massive amount, which of course I went to the wrong spot. Chipped Blade, we actually saw, Flickering Strike. We saw the Flickering Strike in the Chipped Blade in my PvP tournament, and it won the tournament. So just to put it in perspective, this is a 10 out of 10. When I say 10 out of 10 for this, these are like, if you're into PvP, these are the best procs, the best weapon abilities that I think I've ever seen. So just keep that in mind. Let's go to the second one. Same thing, but 140. This one hits twice at 130, but same thing. This one hits again 140, but same. 150 and same. This one's 130 twice again, same. So they're basically all the same. All of them are very, very good. Just, overall, I think that these are really good for some classes and excellent for PvP. You can't really go wrong. Just keep in mind, even in a PvP build, you have to be careful of your cost. You have to be careful of your uni. This does not give you cost or uni. So keep that in mind. But as long as you have some procs that give you cost, or you're using some strategy that gives you uni, or, you know, using monsters and stuff like that, should be fine. This is really, really good. And that's pretty much all that I have today. So thank you guys for your patience. I'm so sorry that I have not been releasing videos. I've been so busy. So hopefully I'll get back to making more videos and being more active with content and stuff like that. But it's good to see you guys, and thanks for staying with me. I'll catch you guys later.